right, so here's the deal. I'm on a laptop. I think I've noticed whenever I've got like too much stuff open, it just dies. So we're maxed out at about 3 tabs, right? And we just got to be quicker in case just to prevent it from happening again. So Jung Young Lee. So by the way, we went with Julia Storylenko. Probably submission, probably early too. Jung Young Lee taking on Blake Builder. This should be a really good fight. Probably one I'm going to avoid betting on altogether. Jung Young Lee, he's impressive. He's a good fighter, really good stand-up fighter, carries good power. The biggest question mark with him is once the fights get a little bit extended, and they can against guys like Blake Builder, how's the cardio going to hold up? Is he going to be able to stuff takedowns late in the fight? Is he going to be able to be elusive on the feet and not get cracked? And yeah, I think this is going to be a really entertaining fight. Jung Young Lee is the favorite at -162. We've seen him get sat down before from punches, and so we could see that. I'm not so confident to like put money though on a Jung Young Lee knockout in like the first round, and then if the fight does get extended, Blake Builder, he could just pull away on the scorecard in round 2 and 3 if the pressure or the wrestling is there. But I'm going to go with Jung's 162 here. The inside the distance prop is kind of interesting at -150. Winning methods, I think Jung Young Lee knockout or Blake Builder kind of over a round and a half is kind of where I'd probably look to go with this, or Blake Builder outside of the first round. And that could be a decision too. So I'm going to go with the better stand-up striker though in Jung Young Lee to just look good and put a beating on Blake Builder early. The next fight we've got is Themba Gorimbo taking on Pete Rodriguez. This one I'm kind of back and forth on. Themba Gorimbo, I haven't been super impressed by him. He's a persistent grab. I'm going to look for those submissions, but yeah, this far in the UFC, I just haven't been super impressed. Well, he lost to AJ Fletcher. That might have been a club and sub. And then against Sato, he looked tired, to be honest. He just looked like he was hanging on him rounds 2 and 3. And then you got Pete Rodriguez here, who's a really dangerous stand-up striker. So I think either way this goes, I think I like the fight to end inside the distance. I could see Pete Rodriguez cracking Themba. I could see Themba securing a submission early against Pete Rodriguez. But as far as a money line pick, I'm going to go with Themba done. But as from a betting perspective, I'm not putting my money on him, and I would be more likely to put it on Pete Rodriguez at +195. I think Pete Rodriguez is good. A little one-dimensional, but so is Themba. And then cardio-wise, I mean, I kind of like Pete Rodriguez. So I'd say the winning formulas are either a Themba submission, that's +110, or a Pete Rodriguez KO, which is +275. On the surface, I'll say this too. Based on Themba's last fight, if that's all he does is just like hang on his opponent and he's not threatening submissions or anything like that, someone could walk away with a beautiful +320. But I think it does. It's more likely than not that it ends inside the distance. Osmat, Azat Maksum taking on Charles Johnson. Azat's undefeated as a professional. Charles Johnson is undefeated at making me frustrated when I watch him fight. Um, you can tell, man. He's just like he's a well-rounded fighter. He's really really good. Um, 'Cause, like, he's always competitive regardless of who the opponent is, and I guess that's the issue is, like, there's no there's not really he fights Makayev and he does this is an example, he does great in a loss, and I think that was his debut on short notice, and he goes the distance against Makayev, who is just basically wrestle effing him. Then he goes out there, gets a couple of wins, and then he's on a 3-fight losing streak. Estevam wasn't firing. Like, he had an advantage on the feet. Same with Cody Durden, wasn't firing. I didn't love him against OD Osborne, the activity either. So it's just like, I don't know, he kind of fights down to his competition, right? And now they're putting him in the octagon against a formula that's worked well against him in the past, and that's just a someone who's gonna take him down. He gets back up, but then he just gets taken down, and there's not enough activity when he does stand on the feet. So I really like Azat in this fight. I think Charles Johnson's a good fighter, but I don't know how much longer he's gonna be in the UFC if he's performing the way he's performing, and then I don't really know, like, he's gotta earn my bets. I extremely frustrated.